live now.
Hey there, hi there, ho there, we're as happy as can be. Little music, which I was ran by Bob, haven't run it by him, but I think our theme song should be Chicago, only the beginning, only the beginning. And we can start with the big inning. Lots of big innings last night. If you saw the Indians, big inning, the Rockies, big inning, the pitchers coming out of the, not the bullpen, coming out of the outfield to come in and everything.
How many
like that.
they were? I didn't watch the end of that game. I was watching the Red Sox game, and they were. David Ross was trying to guess how many position players would throw during that game. Well, I think he said 3 was his guess.
The big one was they fairly did okay. The guy was for the Cart. Was it who were the Rockies playing? The Cart? No.
I don't remember that.
The Reds.
The Reds.
Which the Reds, by the way,
are doing well.
Are
hitting the crap out of the ball.
35 and 23 over their last 58 games, which is a pace to win 93 games in a year.
What'd they do the first?
They lost like 40 in a row.
Okay.
But if it wasn't for that 40-game losing streak...
So what you're saying is games in April count as much as games in September?
I've heard that from Eddie sometimes.
I think I've said that a couple of times or two, that each game counts the same.
But the Reds pitcher that came in, it wasn't Descalzo, it was... the guy, it was his 5th pitching outing. He had thrown 4 times in his career, 1 inning, 4 perfect innings.
Wow.
3 up, 3 down, 4 times.
Is he a position player?
He's an outfielder. Last night he came in, he threw 3 1/3 and gave up 3 runs. But hey,
that's not bad.
I think that might be the longest outing by a position player that I've seen. And unlike Jose Canseco, didn't throw out his arm and go on the DL.
Yeah, didn't hurt himself?
Didn't hurt himself or whatever.
Yeah, David Ross was talking about that last night when he pitched, and he was like, the manager came and said, hey, how you feel about pitching? He goes, I don't want to. And he said, but if you want me to, Skip, I'll go give it a shot. He said, so then going out there and these big strong guys are there, and you're like out there by yourself, you're like, this ain't going to end well.
the guy that they did a little thing last night on TV on the dude that pitched for the pitched against the Indians after they had scored 17 in the first 3 or 4 innings.
4 innings, yeah, 17. What was the final score?
19-4.
Yeah, 19-4.
Well, they only gave up 2 in the back half.
The pitchers were awesome then once they started breaking out the position players. This one guy came out there and they showed him he's spotting his 85-mile-an-hour fastball.
There you go.
He had a 72-mile-an-hour curve.
Can't hit it.
And then, which was the one he struck out 3 guys on the same pitch in his 2 innings of work. Struck out half the people, half the outs. I don't know because he gave up some hits and his fastball got hit.
Yeah.
But 3 strikeouts, all on a 65-mile-an-hour knuckle curve, and it would just sit there and float. And that's what he was throwing, and they couldn't hit it. He's throwing a knuckle curve.
It's hilarious.
It was Oliver Hooten.
Yeah,
it looked
exactly.
Hooten, Necro. I mean, you know what they say. A knuckleballer is good for a 3 games.
Well, if you're gonna come out of the outfield.
You got to throw something.
You got to throw. You can't just.
You know that's what guys do when you're warming up. I mean, you're always trying to throw stupid pitches and knuckleballs and knuckle curves, and you get tired of throwing the ball straight. So you try to figure out ways to make it look weird coming at somebody to catch them.
And they also play the last game of the season rules. Last game of the season rules?
Right. What's that?
Oh, you can't take a strike.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're up.
Those last games, if you ever look, last games of the season are 2 hours and 10 minutes, 2 hours 5, and you're swinging at the first pitch.
Yeah.
So basically, he's up there throwing that stuff, and they're swinging at every pitch. You better not take, you don't take anything close. But the Indians, here's the thing. In that game, I mean, they're back in first place. They got 8.5 game lead.
They're still the only team
above 500
in their division.
But they're the only team with more than a 3.5 game lead in all of baseball because of that. But I think you can pencil them in. Are they a lock? 8.5 game lead, end of July.
Most times I would say yes. Most teams I would say yes. But with that division,
the Indians,
division, I'm not going to say yes because they have a history of being so bad early.
The Twins have gained a game and a half on them in a week.
They were 10 back last.
So if we
this
play
time
until
last week.
Christmas in December,
Yeah,
they'll catch them.
yeah.
They were so bad early that you just can't say
Right, they're
that
hot.
that they're
Right,
not
they're
going to
hot.
hit.
Those teams that from Ohio, once the weather started warming up,
They can still hit the slump and
Well,
still.
I think Cincinnati had a little help
yeah.
in the management position there. I mean, but no, I don't think it's. I think it's more over in the wild card.
I mean, they're not
than
going
it is
to.
in the Central.
I mean, over the last 24 hours, they're averaging 19 runs a game.
Hey, man, Durant doesn't get that many. I mean,
Hey,
come on.
hey, a big sample size there
This
of one
is,
game.
you know,
Right?
it's a lot, and they're doing good. But Francisco Lindor,
He's great. Yeah.
Jose Ramirez, each with 25 bombs or more before the All-Star break.
Yeah.
How many times has that been done by teammates?
Three times.
Hasn't been done since a pair in 1933 with the last names of Gehrig and Ruth.
I started saying Ruth and
I was
Gary.
going to say Marison Mantle, but that's interesting.
1933.
It's a long time.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's been done 3 times
Hey, I got it right.
in Major League history. But it's been done one time
That was just a guess, by the way. I had no
It's
idea.
been done one time ever in Major League history where both guys were under the age of 25.
Is that now? Okay.
It's been done one time when both guys were switch hitters.
Same time now.
It's
That's
been
the
done
name of
one time, ironically, where both guys are under 6 feet tall. They're little guys, pack a punch. They can hit.
He did.
They can hit. And that team can hit.
Oh, yeah.
They can. They can. You know, but again, if you hit that well, what happens? You go in, everybody goes through slumps. So what happens? Those two guys go in the funk for a month
Especially at the same time.
at the same time,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden the Twins
rest
catch
of-
them.
Well, I think they accounted for 4 or 5 runs last. So they'll still score 14 runs.
Yeah, but that's an anomaly. That's a one-game anomaly.
Score 14 runs.
I'm a stats guy.
Yeah, well,
I know.
there's stats,
I
there's
know.
stats, and then there's you know what stats, you know. So
The Red Sox opening up a little bit
3.5
more on the
game lead.
Yankees. They're up 3.5 now.
Yep.
9-1 in their last 10, I
Yeah,
think.
they've been tearing it up. Yeah.
They're a hot team. Best team in baseball.
you look good.
Yeah.
Best team in baseball.
Oh, yeah, right now they are. Yeah.
They're pitching it,
They're pitching it. Chris Sale struck out 12 last night.
and then they
He's
they
the
almost
best pitcher in baseball. Sorry,
He is. He's great.
I think he's better than Kershaw.
Baron Scherzer?
Better than Scherzer.
Wow.
If I was a GM, and I had one pick to start my team with right now,
from the left.
I'm going Chris Sale with a lefty. Shoot, throws it up in the 90s and can just pencil him in for all those starts.
6'6", 180.
First time, five
6'6",
five
maybe,
straight
yeah.
starts with 10 strikeouts and only less than 2 walks.
Yeah, he's amazing. I mean, he really is.
And you know what's amazing?
Just keep him
is
away from the scissors. That's
He
all you gotta
strikes people
Yeah.
out. He strikes people, which is when you know you got stuff. He strikes people out without throwing strikes.
And he doesn't break a sweat. He pitched 110 pitches last night or something, and it didn't look like he had thrown 4. Still throwing 99.
No, they've got a team.
And he
Who built that team?
Some guy named Dombrowski.
You know him personally, so I was like, but he is better than Kershaw. Kershaw's not the best pitcher right now in baseball. I mean, he's
Well, according to Eddie, when you win more when you're on the DL, that's
You're definitely.
Yeah,
That's true. Statistically speaking, it's true. I'm sorry.
and the Dodgers now are only a half game out of first in the West. I mean, the West in the National
they're
League.
making their move.
Making their move, and do they make a big move and try to get a rental piece, which is something I guess we can talk about more in the second half. But
Yeah.
The rentals.
So last night, I guess was the AA, AAA All-Star game weekend, and Tebow went 1 for 4.
hey,
You know,
You gotta-
how many
you gotta
times you
double.
sit there, you got to
I
double
know.
it. How many times you sit there and go, had a double in 4 plate appearances and everything. ESPN on the ticker. Tim Tebow gets a double and strikeout in 4 at-bats.
Yeah.
A double and a strikeout in 4 at-bats. Well, why didn't you put a double and a flyout in 4 at-bats?
Or a double, a
and ground
strikeout, a ground out, and a flyout.
But
he
it's
had the
a double and a fly and a strikeout. Where do you, with the exception of Judge and Stanton, you know how many hits they got, how many home runs they got, how many times they struck
'Cause they
out
crawl.
every
That's
single
on- that's
night
on the
because
crawl.
that's like what they put. And
All right, but here's the deal.
Baseball coverage.
Here's the deal. You want to
or
save the
no, go Tebow, go Tebow.
Save the baseball coverage for the second half. for the rant. There's a rant coming, folks. You're going to want to watch this.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. There's definitely a rant coming.
There's
it's
a rant.
the weekly rant coming. But given the current state of baseball, right, where you got two guys under 6 foot who are hitting bombs. All right.
And I want to say, with the exception of Springer, maybe, Bregman, all those guys on the Astros, correct? I mean,
Altuve, Correa.
Altuve at 5'2". The bat is half as big as he is.
I was going to say almost as big
Half
as
as
he
tall
is.
as he. I mean, you stand in the bat up.
so we're adding to your point.
All right, so all those guys now, the model now for a baseball player is not a guy that can make contact. The guy is a guy who hits home runs. Everybody's going for home runs. I was thinking about that the other day. We're getting ready. I'm getting ready to go to Chicago in a few weeks, and I'm going to go watch one of the Cub games. And here's what I'm thinking. The reason why the game is so boring now is because everybody's looking to hit bombs, and it's bomb or a strikeout, bomb or a strikeout, bomb or a strikeout.
Now, let me go back what brought this up. This Eastern League All-Star game. With Tebow was at 212. He's now at 271. He hit 305 in June, and he's hitting 385 in July.
Wow.
Okay? Brought his average up from 212 to 271, and during that streak in June and July, he's hit 1 home run. So where it was all going for it and whatever,
exactly.
it's not. That's not it
approach.
anymore. He's actually making contact and hitting for average.
But he's not going to.
He's striking out.
But he's
I want to say
striking out.
105 times in 280 at bats or something. No, he's striking out more than 1 out of every 3 at bats.
So, but you know, you got Judge, and you're talking about that, the strikeouts under the bottom of how many times guys strike out. It used to be that if you struck out that much, you're expecting a downward trip. You know, you're going to AA, AAA to work on your swing if you're striking out that much.
Some Dave King, unless you can hit.
One guy on your team. All right.
No, Kilbrew was like, Frank
there would
Howard
be one
was
guy
like
on
that.
your team, right?
If you could sit there and hit 40, 45 home
Right,
runs.
but there would be one of those guys.
Right.
Everybody else.
No, you're right.
Would go if you struck out that many times. Even if you hit 20.
Earl Weaver baseball.
Right, if you hit 20 home runs, but you struck out, whatever, 300 or 400 times, you're not coming back next year. You're going to be down in AA, AAA working on your swing. Now, that gets you promoted. That'll get you put up if you strike out that much, because guys are going up there looking for launch angles and swing velocity and all that stuff. And my point back to the beginning of the year, I think one of you guys asked me, who's the best hitter in baseball? And I said, there's not a good hitter in baseball. And I still stand by that. I don't think Mike Trout's as close as you come to a good hitter in baseball who can make a difference with 2 strikes, make a different approach, line one out. I mean, if you just put all the guys in the chart area, how many guys could hit above 200 go in a different direction?
It'll be interesting to see.
Who could do who could do a Tony Gwynn or a Rod Carew and put the ball wherever they wanted to?
Or Wade Boggs. But you want to know what
exactly.
You know where that really, and that's why those games are. You've got to hit it out.
Exactly.
Because they haven't learned how to hit the other way, and if they don't hit it out,
it's an out.
and they get a single between the first baseman and second baseman, guess what? The second
The
baseman's
shortstop's out in right field throwing them out.
Amy asked this question. I forget what game we were watching. They did the big shift on the. It may have been Freddie.
every game.
Why don't you just bunt?
That's what she said. Exactly what she said. Why?
Because they can't bunt.
They can't bunt.
Because they can't bunt. Because you can't bunt and hit home runs.
This is semi rant.
Chicks dig the long ball, baby.
That's my point. Out of time.
We got a minute. We got a minute.
We got a minute. But my girlfriend even said though. She said, "Why is he just bunt?" Because the shift is
A
over.
little pre-tuner. What ruined the game of baseball? What brought this on? Number 1, the Atlanta Braves.
Oh, stop! Wait a minute.
Greg Maddux,
Wait.
Tom Glavine doing the chicks dig the long ball. Why did that commercial come up? Because McGuire and Sosa
Why is that the
were
Braves'
hitting
fault?
home
Braves'
run.
fault?
Because all of a sudden you got these pitchers going kick the long. Why did no? Baseball purists love Maddox and Glavine doing what they do, not hitting home runs and everything like that. But you know what? Public opinion out there.
Oh wait,
sat there.
time out.
Public
We'll
opinion
be
said.
right back. We'll be right back. We're going
back.
to continue this.
yes.
We're going to continue this in a minute.
He'll still be
Public
upset. He'll still be
opinion
He'll still be upset.
created
He'll be back.
baseball
He'll still
for
be
those
upset.
that don't
It's
like
okay.
baseball. And when they dropped off, the real baseball fans were gone.
We'll be back in a moment.
Bye-bye.